All right. We are live officially, so get ready, check that out. I don't know. Let's see. How's it going, everybody? I did not see if it posted to Twitter yet or not, so hopefully it did. We're setting everything up. Todd is sharing all this good stuff. Can you check Twitter real quick?
Yeah, let me check.
See if I posted it.
Okay.
So how's it going, everybody? We're just waiting for more people to join for the show. Did it?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
You did? Perfect. Yep. All right. Hey, how's it going?
Right there.
Sweet. So Todd is looking at his phone because he'll be keeping track of any questions you guys have. So he's not being that rude. Looking at that. Hey, how's it going? So welcome.
What's up?
So we'll kind of get started. Did you share to different?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Perfect. He's going to do that, and then we're going to get started with everything. Or I can kind of tell you a little bit. So this is part 1. There will be a part 2 at Live Action. If you're not watching this live, either click through on the Twitter description for Live Action Comic, the app name on there, or just look above or below my tweet for this video. Hey, how's it going? Welcome yet again. So it's good to see you this week. But definitely check that out for part 2. We have some really cool stuff about live action comics we're going to be discussing. We also want to thank you. Last week, our combined videos hit 6,000 viewers. So it's been really exciting to watch that grow as time has gone on.
Yeah, we're pretty excited about that.
So thank you so much for that. Also in part 2, we're going to be explaining how you can win some stuff in a free giveaway. So that's pretty cool. So for sure, stay tuned for that because we have some cool comic book related things for you guys. But first, let's get into our weekly nerd news. So first sad news, we want to say rest in peace to Adam West, the 60s Batman. Really sad about that. He was 88 years old. He lost his battle to leukemia. And I grew up watching the movie.
Yeah.
Do you remember the old movie?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was so great. If you haven't seen the Batman, the 60s TV show, if you haven't seen the movie based on that, you really have to. It is cheesy goodness.
Yeah, it's great.
It's pretty wonderful. So there is shark repellent that Batman has.
The shark scene is ridiculous and great. Yeah.
And the best, my favorite scene in the whole thing is how Batman and Robin determined that Catwoman, Penguin, the Riddler, and the Joker all working together. It's the dumbest thing that doesn't make sense. At one point, they're like, it happened at sea. And Robin's like, sea, as in Catwoman. Oh. If it's at sea, why don't you assume a penguin? He's the one with fish and stuff. But anyway, great, and he was also a Family Guy character, I think. He was the mayor, I believe, in Family Guy. So just really sad to hear about him passing. So we wish his family, we'll be thinking about you guys. Yeah, he was the mayor, so you're right. So the second season of Series of Unfortunate Events on Netflix has announced new cast members for the second season. We have Nathan Fillion from Firefly, hello, and Castle. Tony Hale, Sarah Rue, Lucy Punch, and Roger Bart will be on the second season. So that's pretty exciting.
Thanks for the heart.
What's up, Felix? So good to see you. So last week we talked about how Netflix canceled Sense8. And since then, there's been huge petitions to get that show back. And Netflix heard you. And they really worked hard to try and figure out financially how to do this. And sadly, financially, it's such a big endeavor that they weren't able to renew it. So Netflix said, we heard you guys, we really looked into it, and they took a long time responding because they really wanted to see what they could do. So your petition, you signing that petition and spreading the word really made a difference, but unfortunately, money talks, and they just couldn't renew it. So sad to hear about that. So we got Wonder Woman news about some sequel-y stuff. So hence, in the title, Wonder Woman 2. Sequel-y.
Sequel-y?
Sequel-y.
Say that 5 times fast.
No.
Don't.
So, originally Gal Gadot signed for 3 movies. But she has reportedly extended her contract to play Wonder Woman beyond that, which makes sense because they already planned Wonder Woman and the 2 Justice League movies. So that would have been it. But she was in Batman vs. Superman.
Yeah.
So that means she wasn't even signed up for the second. I don't understand how Warner Brothers did that. I kind of assume when they were trying to get Chris Evans for Captain America, they wanted him to sign up for 9 movies. And they negotiated down to 6.
Yeah, they're saying they want Chris Pine back. Yeah, Chris Pine did good. He did a really good job.
Spoiler alert, that's probably not going to happen. Well, it took place like 100 years ago, so he did not, unlike the other Steve in Captain America First Avenger, he did not get frozen in ice. So, sorry, guys.
Time is his enemy on that.
Yeah, this is true. So, definitely. Patty Jenkins, the director from the first one, did not she wasn't originally signed up to do a sequel, but she's in talks now, so she's very interested in returning, and she has some ideas of where she wanted to take it. But speaking of Wonder Woman, the first one, coming up in the new Justice League movie, I don't think this is a spoiler because it's out there, Robin Wright and Connie Nielsen are expected to return. So those awesome Amazonian women are going to be in Justice League somehow, which is interesting. So I love me some Robin Wright, and she was pretty awesome in that.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
I know you like her.
Yeah. Speaking of Warner Brothers, we're staying on that. Here's news for you guys. So exciting! I didn't even tell him about this because I wanted to be a surprise. So Warner Brothers are holding an open casting call for Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them too. Literally anybody can submit to this. So all of you can submit to this.
Kind of like Power Rangers?
Sort of, yeah. Power Rangers, there was
Power
another
Rangers,
one.
Everybody I knew tried out for that.
Yeah,
I'm serious.
I want to say The Last Pirates also did this, but I could be wrong about that. So if you're an actor between the ages of 13 and 16, they're looking for young versions of Newt Scamander. I apologize if I'm going to butcher these J.K. Rowling names. But the Eddie Redmayne character, they're looking for a 13 to 16-year-old to play a young version of him. A young version of Zoe Kravitz's character, Leda Lestrange. I got nothing. And a new character named Sebastian. So you can be whatever. If you're almost 31, I mean, I don't know. It's been a while since 90210, where all of those actors look like they were in their 40s, but somehow we're in high school. So I don't know. I'll root for you, but I don't know if they'll go with you if you're 31. There's also 2 more opportunities for older actors, though. So maybe if you can pull off between 16 and 18, then you can audition for or submit yourself for young versions of Albus Dumbledore, which was the Jude Law character, and Gellert Grindelwald.
That's a name.
I'm so sure I butchered that. That was the Johnny Depp character. So open casting call. It's exciting. You know what? I'm rooting for you, Felix. I am rooting for you to get those parts. So good luck. It's open casting call. You can submit yourself. Some interesting news at TNT. They are making a TV show based on the movie Snowpiercer. Speaking of Chris Evans. So it's starring Jennifer Connelly and Daveed Digg. And Mickey Sumner has recently joined the cast for that. So the hour-long drama pilot. Also news, the pilot is going to be directed by the director of Doctor Strange, Scott Derrickson.
Which that'll be good.
So, yeah, it'll be interesting. So, the show is set 7 years after the world has become a frozen wasteland and the remnants of humanity inhabit a gigantic, perpetually moving train that circles the globe. It explores class warfare, social injustice, and the politics of survival. Also, if it's going to be based on the movie, baby eating. Yeah, that's right. Spoiler alert. There's a monologue in the first Snowpiercer about eating babies. And it's supposed to be super serious. Chris Evans gives this thing about the horrors of eating babies. I laughed really hard. I felt bad, but it's ridiculous. Did you guys like Snowpiercer? Were you guys fans? Because before I saw it, everybody loved it, and I watched it, and I felt like I was getting punked because I did not care for it. Thank you. Yes, thank you. I don't get.
Fan, nope.
Thank you. Yes, this is why we love you guys.
Yeah,
you are our people for sure.
Yes, they are.
So, moving on from Thank you. It was very much hipster BS. Thank you. And it logically didn't make any sense. How big is this friggin' train? But anyway, so sad news for horror fans out there. Amityville: The Awakening, which was supposed to come out on the 30th, has been pulled indefinitely. They don't have a new premiere date. In fact, this movie has been supposed to be released in 2015, and then 2016, and then 2017. It's been pulled yet again. Not really sure why it's being pulled, seeing as how it's like the month of. So we'll see. I mean, it's Weinstein and Dimension Films, so we'll see if it ever comes out. Some movies get shelved. Cabin in the Woods got shelved for years, and that was awesome.
That was really good.
I love that movie. So, but that was shelved because of the MGM
I need to watch
issue.
that again, actually. That was good.
I'll bring it over. I have it. Yeah. So last week we
have not seen Baywatch yet. Well, he didn't want to see it because it got bad reviews.
I will see it, though, on DVD or when it's cheaper. Because even from people that I fall in line with, I really wanted to see it. But even people who I fall in line with said it wasn't that great. I think it's a red box viewing.
When it gets
I know, The Rock is awesome.
When it gets that bad of ratings, it's red box usually.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
A lot of times.
So going back to Wonder Woman really quickly, last week we talked about how due to politics, it was banned in Lebanon, and now it's been banned in Tunisia. It was supposed to come out in a couple theaters. Bye, Felix. Thank you so much for joining. This will be Felix. Up indefinitely, so you can see the rest of it. So thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Now Tunisia was supposed to come out in a couple theaters, but because of the whole, like, the Arab nation, Arab Nationalist Party, the People's Movement, took offense because of Gal Gadot's defense of the 2014 Israel situation with the war in Gaza that summer. So apparently she spoke favorably to about the Israeli army, which she was in, and they didn't like it. And that's just a reminder how politics play into movie commerce. What's up? So it's both.
Yeah.
It is both. He doesn't know a lot of this new stuff, so we're kind of going at it here. So
I purposely don't see this, so he gets the I like to reaction
kind
organically,
of like you guys. Yeah. So it's kind of sad that it's not going to be shown there, but it kind of, I mean, those people will find a way to see it, and it's Tunisia, so I mean, when they cast certain people that have certain affiliations and other things like that, they kind of weigh the studios weigh the risk. So
right.
It's just kind of, it is what it is. Yeah. So Cash Cab is coming back. Do we prefer Adam West Batman or big budget movie Batman? Do we have to choose? I like both. I feel like there's room for both. In the comics, there was the silly 60s and 70s comics, as well as the super friggin' dark Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns comics. So I think there's room for both, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think so. What do you think?
Yeah, they're so different,
Mm-hmm. So, so exciting news, Cash Cab, supposed to come back, but they didn't know if Ben Bailey was going to be in it, so he was the host, the comedian host, and luckily he's back.
You like him.
I love him.
Yeah.
I think he's funny. I didn't watch a lot of Cash Cab, but really excited that Ben Bailey's coming back. If you've listened to Doug Love's movies, he's super funny.
I think I've seen the previews of that. I haven't watched that.
Of Cash Cab?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay. I mean, it's a game show.
I think I've went by it a couple times.
Cowboy Bebop, the anime TV series, is getting a live action remake by Tomorrow Studios.
Live action?
Live action for anime. So, if all goes well, what white person do you think they're going to cast in the anime? They kind of have a tendency, Hollywood, to whitewash all that anime stuff, so we'll see which lucky white actor gets to play a Japanese character. Sending my thoughts and prayers to all you guys, so I'm sure that's going to go over well. So
Bruce Lee's turning in his grave.
It's because there's so many good actors.
Yeah.
So kind of going back briefly to Batman the Animated Series producer Alan Burnett retired after 33 years this week. So were you a fan of the animated series?
Oh, what?
The Batman the Animated Series?
Oh, yeah.
It's the best. So he started out doing stuff like DuckTales, Batman the Animated Series, Superman, Static Shock, Batman Beyond, all of that.
Yes.
So he's retired.
We're American. I'm from Ohio, and he's from Michigan. Randomly.
Yes.
We're like neighbors back there.
We're Midwest boys here in Los Angeles.
Yep.
So yes, Mark Hamill is awesome as he is the Joker. The best Joker by far is Batman the Animated Series. And the last thing that Alan Burnett produced before his retirement is the upcoming Batman and Harley Quinn animated movie. So get ready for that. Should be very interesting. Have you watched any of the animated DC movies?
Oh, yeah, a couple of them.
They're kind of hit and miss, right?
Yeah.
Like, some are good and some not so much.
I don't watch them a ton, but I like them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So let's move over to Marvel a little bit. We've been talking a lot about DC. In Marvel, the Game of Thrones alum and Killjoys star Hannah John Kamen has joined Ant-Man and the Wasp in a key role. So that's cool. Yes, I did see Batman the Lego movie, and it was amazing. It was amazing. So awesome. So we have a new cast member for Ant-Man and Wasp. Did you see Ant-Man?
Yes, I loved it.
Yeah? So awesome, right?
It was good, yeah. It was. I didn't expect it to be good, but it was.
I wasn't expecting like a heist movie.
Yeah,
and it was legitimately a heist
It was
movie.
really good. Yeah.
It was awesome. And the last little bit of news we have before we get into like box office and stuff, Magic the Gathering. Have you heard of that like fantasy card game?
Yeah.
They're actually making an RPG game, a role-playing game. It's in development by Perfect World Entertainment and Cryptic Studios.
Is that the game that they're always playing when you go into comic book stores?
Yes.
There's tables set up. And,
So that's one of the big games.
Yeah.
Have you ever played?
I haven't.
So when I was in middle school, that was like the
So
thing.
you have played? Oh, really?
You'll find out. So that was like
in Michigan.
In Michigan.
Really?
And when I was in middle school, it was like
I never even heard of it when I was in middle school.
That's when it got huge. And so I'm like, I want that. And I asked for my birthday one of those starter sets, which came with like the dice, I guess, and a bunch of cards and like it was really nice. And then I open it up, and the instruction booklet's like this big, and I'm like, oh, never mind. And I like never played a game. So I have these cards in perfect shape.
So that doesn't count.
Does not count at all.
Count.
And I want to sell them off, but I don't know where to sell them because I know they're worth a lot. But
yeah. Oh, you have it, the original one?
I still have them. The first, the first iteration.
Be worth something, right?
Has to be.
Yeah.
I don't know where to go with that stuff, and I've never played, so it's not like I have.
If you took it into a comic book store, I'm sure people would like crowd around you.
Probably. I have to fight them out. I have to throw some bows.
Yeah.
Because it's the summer, we only have one cancellation news. And sadly, 24 Legacy has officially been canceled by Fox after one season. They said the 24 franchise might continue, but we don't know. You know, they waited this long because the Star's doing Broadway, so they want to kind of wait to see how that's going. But they just decided they're proud of it. Fox says they're proud of that season, but they're going to move on. Now on to box office, and then we have part 2 coming up. So definitely check it out.
Wonder Woman.
Number 1, Wonder Woman.
I called it.
Yep, 3-day
that
cume, 57.2 million. It was only dropped 45%, which for a superhero movie typically is like 60 to 70%. So word of mouth is definitely helping it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see it again.
So in 2 weeks, it's made 205 million in the domestic box office.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 2 is The Mummy, which I want
to see as well.
With a 3-day cume.
Which you just saw.
I did. I really liked it. I enjoyed it. It's a popcorn movie. Critics hated it, but I mean, it's one of those movies I knew that the critics would hate it and I would love it. Yeah. It was fun. Little bit of action, little bit of horror, a little bit of comedy. It was fun. The end.
There's a little comedy in it?
Yeah.
Tom Cruise?
Yeah.
Tom Cruise?
It was Jake Johnson is the side character, and he kind of did all the heavy lifting for comedy.
Got it.
So, and he's very funny from The New Girl. But it was fun. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, Transformers, he really wants.
Yes, I'm excited for that. That's
so I saw a giant Transformer set up on Hollywood, in between Hollywood and Sunset. There was something going on with Transformers.
Really?
Yeah, there was a giant, 40-foot Transformer. I forgot to tell you that.
Jerk is probably gone now.
I should have took a video and sent it to you. But it was
So sad.
like a giant.
That's awesome. Probably Optimus Prime, I'm assuming.
It was not Optimus. It was.
Oh, they said it's for the premiere.
Is that what it was?
Really, this early? Interesting.
Yeah, when are they going to do the premiere? Yeah.
Well, it comes out the 21st.
Yeah.
So, now, The Mummy...
That I don't have connections to. I'm not
Dang you.
I know.
The Mummy made $32.2 million its first weekend, which is really disappointing. And, you know, a lot of analysts want to talk doom and gloom. But let's look at... Let's perspective. It was Tom Cruise's biggest offshore and global openings ever. So it actually...
Even more than Mission Impossible?
More than anything.
Really?
This is huge. This weekend it made $141.8 million internationally in 63 territories. So the worldwide cume for this weekend is $174 million. And this is his biggest offshore and global openings ever. Number one in 46 markets.
They're saying other countries liked it, not us, not so
But
much.
see, that's the thing. Like, it was made similar to the last Pirates.
Yeah.
That was made for
Pirates
the international
will kill
market.
Overseas.
And I think it's going to cross like 800 million.
Yeah.
Pirates is.
Yeah.
So, and it leads in China with 52.2 million. So, and that's up with like San Andreas and Star Wars: The Force Awakens. So, Universal is like... Oh, the next one is... Good question. So after The Mummy, it's Bride of Frankenstein is the next one. And then they'll have, like, more. It's the whole dark universe. They're really pushing that. And if anything, I think they tried to imply too much stuff for that universe in the first movie. Because there's certain parts where I'm like, oh, they're setting that stuff up. And that kind of took away from this movie.
Yeah.
Coming in at third place is Captain Underpants, with a cume of 12.3 million, and also that was only down 48%. So that's a really good hold. It's animated.
Redbox?
Maybe. I don't know. It's a kids movie. For a total of 44.6 million.
But you won't see that in the theaters.
No. And I might not see it at all. I don't think it's
not even Redbox worthy?
No, not for me.
I
saw a live action blow up of it at WonderCon, and it freaked me out a little bit too much. It's a little too scary, to be honest with you. Yeah, it was like kind of creepy. It was
so Captain Underpants is like your clown.
A little bit maybe. It's my it, so it's a little scary. Coming in number 4 is Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Men Tell No Tales at 10.7 million.
I'm gonna get a big Captain Underpants poster just come out at you one day.
If it's a blow up, I'll be afraid. If it's if it's 2-dimensional, that's not scary.
Okay, so it's got to be
it has to be 3-dimensional. Yeah, that makes it real, man. That's scary as hell. And then number 5, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 with 6.2 million, only down 37%, and after 6 weeks, 366.4 million. So Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is doing awesome, as it should. I saw it twice.
Do we still enjoy Pirates movies?
I'm not a Pirates.
I'm not so much either. It lost me after the first one.
Yeah,
honestly.
The first one
was good.
It was okay. Yeah, it was fine.
You know,
it's one of those where I'm like, it's fine. It's not for me. It's fine.
Yeah.
So, well, that's all we have for Weekly Nerd News. Stick around. We're going to be switching over to live action comic, and like I said, if you're not watching this live, you can either click the app for live action comic in the description of this tweet, or it'll be above or below this one. So
I'll do it right now.
Yeah, so he's going to get all that stuff ready, and then we're going to be switching over. Yep, so right down there, live action comic, you can see it.
Part 2 will be on.
That's where we're going for part 2. So we will see you guys. Sorry, Debbie, we're just leaving, but please watch this on Twitter. It will be up indefinitely. So, and please, let us know what you think. If you have any questions, comments, we're loving the interaction that's happening with you guys.
Yeah, and again, thanks a lot, guys.
Yes, thank you so much.
So many views. It's doing way better than we anticipated. So we really appreciate it. Every week, it's growing by thousands of views. Mm-hmm. So we really appreciate it.
Really appreciate the support. But stick around. A few minutes. We're going to be doing part 2. So we'll see you guys then.
Hi, guys.
Stuff. Hey again.
Welcome to part 2 of SuperCast with Noah Kinsey. This episode, we're going to talk about basically the whole live action comics process. I don't think we've really dove into that enough. So I just want to explain, exactly how we do everything. And I brought a couple comic books to show you. So this is Element X, the beginning.
So that's the first
That's the
comic.
very first one. And for a short amount of time, it's going to be free, downloadable on Live Action Comics website. So you just go to the store of Live Action Comics, and you go there and you put the promo code FREE. You put the promo code FREE, it just negates the cost of it, and that's it. And you can download it
Get
right
a
there.
free digital copy of the first issue of Element X.
The very first one, because I really want you guys to read it. I want you guys to see what you think, and I want you to see the process mainly, how it's photography with comic books. Not just that, but we have special effects, different locations, props, the whole nine, different costumes. Costuming is a huge thing with us.
Thank you for all the hearts.
Yeah,
whatever
thank
that
you.
is. Appreciate it.
It's kind of like cosplay meets photography meets storytelling. It's like, again, it's a whole new process for us. It's not new for us. We've been doing it for 4 years now, but it's new to everybody. So we're trying to explain it. And Noah is the writer of Element X, the TV series. I write the comic books. So
let's get into that.
We're getting a little,
let's talk about, because I'm kind of coming into this later in the game when it comes to the actual comics. So these are like live people in the comics.
Yes.
So there's different elements to it as opposed to
No pun intended.
No pun intended. As opposed to like the drawing.
That was good.
Yeah.
No drawing. Let's with live action comics. Let's get that out of our head. There's no artwork. I might have artwork on the website just to show what the concepts of the characters, like what the costumes are going to look like. And by the way, next week I will show you how I make some of these costumes. We're going to bring out a scary
dude,
scary mannequin dummy guy that's wearing Element X's costume that freaks everybody out around here.
A little bit, especially if you don't expect him to be in the corner of the room. So
he pretty much scares the crap out of everybody. It's kind of it's a little disconcerting.
But with this, I mean, it's kind of almost like setting up like a movie set because it's
exactly
real people, it's props.
Yep.
You want to show?
We do it exactly like we're filming a movie or a TV show. We cast it. We have actors. We have up to could be 10 people on set at one time.
So you coordinated all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, what I do is I write the script for the comic book, and through the script I decide, what actors are going to be there, just do dailies and what props we need, what special effects are going to be in post.
So did you have like a call sheet for for this scene and this shoot that we're doing today?
Yeah.
These are the characters I need.
Exactly.
These are the props I needed.
Exactly.
Is that how you did it?
Yeah, so we just do like a daily, and then the shot list, and the dailies will tell us what props we need and what actors are supposed to be there, and so it's a pretty cool process. Or it's interesting.
Yeah, show them some stuff.
Let me show you a couple scenes. What would be good? Let me show you one with different people in it. Well, here's one at the beach. Let me show you pretty close up. So here we actually dug a hole in the ground because in this comic, Element X pounds a volleyball into the ground and it meteors into the sand. It's kind of when he's developing his powers. And what we did was we had to dig out this big hole. Everyone probably thought we were crazy at the beach, but we had to dig out a hole.
They probably just thought you were just really big little kids making like sandcastles.
Yeah, we're doing sandcastles. And then the bottom scene here, we picked a really low net, and that was basically hanging down to like here. So it looks like I'm like skying like 10 feet above the net. So and it's different angles, and like the photographer will get just the perfect angle, and he'll like shoot upwards and make, just make like depth of field and make it look interesting. And so that's
he's actually the character's in his early 30s, right?
Yeah, he's
in his early 30s.
33. Kyle Ambrose,
and he's kind of just now developing these powers. Someone asked if he's a teenager in his 20s. So.
No, he's like his brain has to develop completely, so he has to be a full adult.
And you're brand new into this, so like we were saying at the start of the show, if you go to the store at liveactioncomics.com, you can actually get a free download. If you put in the promo code during checkout, if you do promo code FREE, you get the first issue for free, a digital download of it.
It is, say, $1.99, and then you put the free promo code in, and it wipes it out.
You don't need to put credit card information or anything like that. So definitely check that out at liveactioncomics.com for issue number 1. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So thanks for asking.
You're welcome. And please, next week, let us know what you think, and let us know how you like the process. And
so I'm curious. So like with these different shots for it, because it is a photographer, did you have to storyboard, or did you do it on location? Where you're like, this is the shot that I want. Was there prepping before that, or was it more like group think once you were on the scene?
It's kind of a group think. It's kind of like I really like to get the actor's point of view on what they think it should be. It's kind of a communication between the photographer and myself and the actors, and we kind of I'll read the scene to them because there's no lines. It's different than it's not like I can hand them a script and be like, here you go.
It's kind of like a silent movie where you'd have to indicate body language.
And another thing we should explain. With each scene, there'll be different facial reactions we have to do. We have to be upset or angry or happy. Let me give you a good example. Like here, here he's getting a massive migraine. So, he's very upset. He's like, ah! So, that's the facial expression we do portray in that actual scene. In other ones, let me give you an example. Like here, she's like the actress right there had to, act interested, I guess.
She had to pretend to be into you.
Pretend to be into me
because she's the girlfriend.
Right.
So the Academy goes to.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just like per scene you have to act in the still photography. So that's another thing that makes it so great.
So when it came to the guns and different things, I mean, who did you you obviously had to reach out to somebody, but were there prop companies you reached out to and rented all that stuff, or how did that go?
The props I mainly bought these right here. These are just fake water guns, and I later spray painted the front of it black, and they look actually so real in video. And,
so
pictures.
In the second issue, those are those basically.
This one
you
is
had legitimate.
This one here is a BB gun. So I mean, it's just with photography you can kind of get away with a little bit more than in video.
Sure.
In video, when we start doing the TV, we'll have to have actual real props, because in post we can change things a lot. We can manipulate the look of it. We can change the colors. There's a lot in post that we can do. So, but the props are huge. I mean, we have this is volume 2 that's not out yet. It's being edited as we speak. We have the manhole that hits the bad guy. It is actually a 3-dimensional object. It's done in post with a video program. So we also do that kind of stuff too. Because video programs are so good nowadays, you can
make it look realistic.
Yeah, it has texture, and it's 3-dimensional, so you can put it in the scene wherever you want it. So
did you have to hire someone to do that stuff, or did you kind of learn as you
There's
went?
animators and graphic artists that work on these, and let me show you another example. let me show you the later on. Move this. The bad guy, he has a android that floats. So that's a total 3-dimensional object that we created.
So it wasn't something that was practical. It was something that was
it's just like green screen in a movie where they create something that's not there. Obviously, they kind of act to it. Because I'll have to say, there's a floating like android in front of you. Like you have to act like you're talking to it. So it's the same thing with movies. It's basically the same scenario.
When they have the little tennis ball at the end of the stick, and it's like, that's the monster. Pretend like it's a monster.
Like with the actual manhole cover that we're throwing in it, it was a seat cushion that we taped blue. So in the production, the editors have like a point of view.
Sure.
So what happens is they're holding the disc, and the editor edits that out and puts in the other object. So he has like a reference point, because a lot of the photography is 2D, and the objects are 3-dimensional. So you have to have some like reference point in order to edit it in. So, and they did the same thing with video. So,
nice.
Which we'll do that in video, but it's just a little bit different process. But yeah. So what else?
Cool. I mean, that's kind of the questions I had kind of going into this. How long did the process take for like the first issue? How many shoots and how many days?
So the first issue, I was working out the kinks, obviously, and we had a ton of different scenes. We had probably 10 different locations that, in every location is pretty much a day. If you guys know production. Like, you can't really switch locations too easily.
With the lighting and everything.
Yeah, you have everything set up. You're kind of, like, stuck in one place at one time. I mean, you can do it, but it's a pretty difficult process. But this one took about 3 months to do. And then I decided to streamline it completely. This next one didn't take as long because I didn't use as many locations. I pretty much just got, casted it, shot it all in like a weekend, pretty much, and then edited it throughout. The post process takes a long time.
Yeah, I guess so.
The third issue involves like a grave scene where I didn't actually have a grave to put them in, so I had to lay a sheet down. Actually, there's a lot of behind the scenes on Live Action Comic YouTube page. If you guys want to see that, there's about 4 different videos of behind the scenes, which will help you kind of understand it as well. But anyway, we laid the green screen sheet just on the ground. So again, it gave a reference point of where to cut it out and create that hole in the ground.
Interesting.
So, and then we had the actors around it, and we actually had a guy in a sheet wrapped up, and he was playing the dead body.
Wow.
So, yeah. So it was pretty interesting, and the dead body was kind of walking around the cemetery, which was kind of disconcerting to people, a little eerie. He had like a blood stain on the sheet, and it was pretty, pretty crazy.
I was in. Tough to act by that. Yeah, it's definitely interesting.
The dead body?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in one of those real crime, those investigation discovery shows.
Yeah.
And you were? I was. And I was one of the police that pulled the dead body out of the swamp.
Oh.
And like the dude who was the dead body was just chilling, like drenched, because we had already pulled him out of the swamp.
Was he like this?
And no, he was totally talking fine at craft services eating, but in the shoot, then he was actually tied.
So he didn't commit to the role?
So he didn't commit, and he wasn't method.
He could have been just dead body, like laying there.
He was
the whole
not
time.
Method. He wanted to break from his dramatic performance.
That's disappointing.
But yeah, it was very interesting to hang out with the dead guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all the questions I had on this.
We also
go
ahead, tell them about that.
Yeah, so we are. If you go to Live Action Comics, the YouTube page, once we hit 100 subscribers, and we'll bring this up every week until we hit it. but we're going to be doing a comic book grab bag where we're going to have DC, Marvel Comics, things like that, and it will include, so anyone who's a subscriber is entered in this, and we'll do a drawing for one of the subscribers to win these items, and show them this. They're also getting an Element X signed poster by this guy. So that will come along with the grab bag with everything like that. So go to Live Action Comics, the YouTube page, subscribe, share, rate, review, all that stuff, and we're going to be giving away some good things.
And then after we hit 1,000, we'll give away a limited edition. This is not even really, this is like the first run that's not even being sold. So this one is like the very first run from like a year ago. So there's only a few of these.
Yeah, you're going to be getting
and
a
they'll be
physical
numbered
copy.
and everything. And this is one that people will want.
Yeah, and that'll be when we go up higher. But right now we're just worried about 100 subscribers on the YouTube channel, so check that out. Also, once again, going to reiterate, you can get a free digital version of this. Free digital version of issue 1 of Element X if you go to liveactioncomics.com in the store, and in the promo code for issue 1, put in free, and you'll get it. You'll get a free download.
If you have any questions, guys, just hit us up on Twitter, the Noah Kinsey and Live Action Comic.
And I'm Todd Christian.
And I'm Todd Christian is my personal. So if you have any questions, feel free. We love to talk back. And
yeah, we're loving the interaction. Thank you guys for last week. Our combined videos, part 1 and part 2, hit 6,000 views. So that's exciting for us that we grow every single week, and it's because of you guys. So thank you so much.
Yeah, we've been growing a couple thousand a week, which is great.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So
we didn't have any expectations with this.
We didn't know what was going to happen.
We had no idea, but you guys are taking to it pretty good, and we really appreciate it. What's that?
Your art comics illustrators. No, we're writers and producers. So actually, the Live Action Comics, the Element X is actual actors in cosplay type scenarios, I guess, but actually acting out the action. So they're real people in those comics.
Imagine just setting up a movie and shooting stills. That's all.
Perfect.
You still have to act it out, and you still have to set up the scenarios with costumes and props and fake blood if you need it, or guns.
Just their production stills, basically.
Their production stills is exactly what it is. Perfect. So it's a new way to show comic books, and we're really enjoying it.
The free one's on the website, liveactioncomics.com, first issue. So, yeah, exactly. It's a live action comic, hence the clever title.
You like that?
So, no, it was funny.
Yeah.
So, we will see you guys next week. We do these live every Sunday, so we'll be back next week. Videos are available throughout the week on our Twitter pages, so check that out. Feel free to drop a line. So, and we will talk to you guys next week. So have a great week, everybody.
See you guys.